Welcome to What If series. I did chapter 1 to 3, so I'm going to start on chapter 4. So, hi Turf Honey. A war started, and the Inklings almost launched fire arrows, but before they were in shock, uh, it's the Splatoon researcher, and he got everyone together, and okay, tap tap tap. Is it on? Yes, Kelly said. Okay, thanks. A researcher's speech. Okay, so I made a whole new city called Calamari, and it is empty, but people, you can go. Okay. Here's a cruise. Okay. Get everyone. Why aren't you going in your family? Because I feel like one of them. I was born here. Where? Where? I was born in a capsule in a research lab in uh in there. Oh, in Alterna. Mm. Oh, sweet boy. I'm your grandpa. Come with me. And grab your popcorn for this one because this is gonna be a long one. So chapter 5, The Library of Knowledge. Hi, I'm following my grandpa now, and we made it, and here we are, good old boy. Our okay. So, what do you think about this story? The researcher grabbed down. Okay, this one is called The Great Turf War. So, what do you think of this historical legend? It says, so this is the start. Before the Great Turf War, there were unwinnable nations, regions between the Inklings and Octolings. They couldn't have dreamed that raising sea levels would force them to battle fiercely over the remaining territory. Um, After raising sea levels swiped out humanity, and the last stronghold in Alterna pierced the multiple marine species resizing in the waters of the underground that began to evolve into land-dwelling creatures in just a couple of thousand years due to the liquid crystals properties in other population in Alterna's waters. The first battles of the Great Turf War ended in victory for the Arcturian forces. The that Arcturians easily demanded the Inklings who were unable to wake up early, although in the morning to defeat themselves hurled by the loud explosions. The great octo weapons quickly stormed the Inklings' central thing stronghold. Months passed in victory for the Arcturians seemed all but certain, but due to a plug being carelessly pulled its socket, their hopes were uh, da- dashed. Uh, even terribly, the Inklings won the war and forced the Octarians underground in the Splatoon 2 section. Mm, Um, Inkling historians later settled upon a superior number of limits as the cause for their pre-director's victory. The Inkling faction had a fighting force known as the Squidbeak Splatoon, led by Captain Cuttlefish, which fought against the Octarians during the war. And I have some more. After the Great Turf War, the Arcturians were forced to retreat into underground domes located in Octo Valley and Octo Canyon, two remote rocky areas spotted with cuddles leading to the various underground areas. Inkling soon took over most of the remaining land, populating in a sport called Turf War, inspired by the previous war. The underground domes are said to be running out of energy, which promised uh, the Octarians to steal the great Zapfish in addition to several normal Zapfish. This in turn led the former leader of the Squidbeak Splatoon to start the new Squidbeak Splatoon in order to rescue them. Just got one more. So it's Sunken Scrolls. The Great Turf War is mentioned articulately throughout Octo Valley, Splatoon's single-player companion, other than a short spiral of Captain Cuttlefish to explain the Octarians' motives behind stealing the Great Zapfish. The player is not given much insight as to what actually happened during the war. However, more can be discovered, but the events of a player collect specific sunken scrolls. Okay, what's gonna happen next? Oh, hold on. Hey, Grandpa, what is this phone and bear? Well, sweet boy, that's a whole new story. What's gonna happen? Hmm. Let's see. So, Chapter 6, the story about Commander Tartar and Mr. Grizz. Okay, so Commander Commander Tartar is an ancient, corrupted artificial intelligence created by a human professor 12,000 years ago, surviving it as the main intelligence of the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. Tartar proposes as a helpful telephone to guide Agent 8 through the into the deep sea metro, but secretly plots to um, inhale the all current life and replace it with a new superior, Prime Smart, Smart, Man. Okay, organ propose. Um, built by a human scientist to prove and pass down humanity's vast knowledge to future life forms. Spent I don't know that whole sentence. Past and sea life uh, evolved and grew deeply cycle and disappointedly, I think, disappointed in the squids and octopuses, inklings and octolings, following them as unintelligent, quibbling fools unworthy of human legacy. Founded the shady Commando Corporation underground as a testing ground, Leonard learned octolings, including biologist Agent 8, under the under the ground of researching the Promised Land, uh, a couple of surface uh, captured test subjects who failed are are the trials, seizing them into mind-controlled uh, till ain't done like soldiers, seriously planned to band this the strongest sit-downs together into a let hole Carol soup to swipe out Inkopolis. So, revealed as true identity as Commander Tartar after Agent 8 and Sea Cucumber gather the four fangs acquired to open the surface, traps Agent 8 inside a giant kitchen blender through, through Captain Captain Cuttlefish, and off the hook, Pearl and Marina help Agent 8 escape. I don't know that word. On top, the massive NILS statue, a central weapon shaped like an ancient human monument, aiming to fire a constructed a beam at Inkopolis, defeated when Agent 8 covers the statue in ink, followed by Pearl unleashing her harvesting Sonic Princess Killer vocal blast that short circuits and destroys the rogue AI once and for all. Hold on. Just want to see. Okay. So there's one more boss we have to learn about. The origin of Mr. Grizz. The thousands of years ago, before human extinction due to floods and wars, a spaceship carried animals in cold sleep into space. Bear point zero three. Hold on. After crashing back down to Earth after Milna Bear, don't know that word. Yeah. Point zero three was the only survivor awaking in the in a world ruled by elevated sea life. Inklings and octolings, he, he, he dared to return mammals to the top of the food chain. Alterna in the ooze. He discovered the sovereign site of Alterna and used liquid crystals mixed with his own fur to create fuzzy ooze, a substance capable of turning sea creatures back into mammals. Grisco and the master plan. Salmon Run. To fuel his doomsday rocket, Mr. Grizz founded Grizzco in Duchess and hired Inklings and Octolings under the guise of a part-time job to harvest golden eggs from salmonids. Hold on. Oh, um, okay. Uh, he stole the Great Zapfish and kidnapped Captain Cuttlefish to harness their energy sources. He launched a rocket into space filled with a massive fuzzy ooze bomb among terrain, mammalian transportation, transformation goo across the entire globe. Okay. Agent 3 and their small fry companion, Little Buddy, chased Mr. Grizz to the rocket in space, powered by marine energy and the sound of the calamari injection, you know, played by the idol groups. So, Squid Sisters, Off the Hook, and Deep Cut. Um, Small fry grows into a massive sized huge fry. Together, Agent 3 and Huge Fry break the fuzzy ooze pockets on Mr. Grizz's body and blast him away from the planet, threatening his plans for a that for a different world. Um, Watch this video to learn about the deep lore and connections behind Commander Tartar. Commander Tartar. Just because I'm not saying the words right. So, watch the thrilling finale and the final boss battle against Mr. Grizz in this video. Okay. Um, and that is the story of the Great Turf War, Commander Tartar, and Mr. Grizz. Okay, get Kelly. Okay, she's here now. And he falls asleep on Kelly's lap. And everyone is in peace once again. The end. What if series book one? What if there was a human survived in Alterna, Splatoon, by Happy Being Chevy?